And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, today we're taking a look at a party game called You Betcha. In this game, it's trivia-based game where you need to know like lists of things, but you're betting on whether you know the answers or not. You know, it's kind of like, I bet you can't name 5 of the Great Lakes. Well, there only is 5 Great Lakes. Okay, let me see. I bet you can't name 5 of the 10 longest rivers in the world. Well, I could name 6. That's the way this game works. This was a Kickstarter. I saw it last year. It looked very interesting. Let's go deeper under the hood. Each player starts with $35 worth of chips, a marker, and a board. There's going to be a timer that's used over the course of the game, and one player is chosen to start. That player is going to roll these 2 dice. One die is going to tell you what kind of game we're going to be playing: live bet, silent bet, or all play, and the other is going to pick one of the 4 categories: know-it-alls, jocks, paparazzi, and globetrotters, although there's 2 sides of this die which say you pick. So whichever side you get, if you get live bet, okay, so at the beginning of every round, no matter what, everyone is going to ante a coin into the middle of the table. 1 coin. Then for live bet, you'll take the category. So let's say we say NFL football stadiums from the jocks. Each person is going to go around a table saying, I think I know 7. The next person might say, I know 8. The next person says, I don't know any, I'm out. And you keep going until there's only 1 person left. That person then is going to have a timer flipped on them, and they're going to name as many as they can. Now, the other players have the cards, so they'll be able to keep track of these if you know how many of the different stadiums there are. And if that person is correct, they're going to win. Now, when they bet, so let's say the person said that they could do 11. They would have to throw 11 into the pot. If they win, they'll get the whole pot back plus whatever they bid, another 11. If they're incorrect, then their amount that they bid plus the ones are split between the other players, and we go to the next player in the round. Silent bet is the same way as the live bet. The only difference is instead of going around a table saying, I can do 6, I can do 5, everyone just writes a big number down on their board and reveal it, and the highest number gets to play. And then finally, all play, everyone is just going to take their board and write down as many answers as they possibly can. So that's the one where everyone is going to use their board. So you're just going to continue to do this and go around the table. After 7 rounds of play, the game will be over. I guess you could play longer, or there's other alternative rules here. And the rules have a very important line here in them. All trivia answers are accurate as of July 1st, 2017. So keep that in mind. And then whoever has the most money after that point is the winner of the game. Now, as you can see, I pulled the insert out of the box. I don't actually play with this insert. Interestingly enough, when you're done with the insert, you can take 2 decks of cards and place them here, but the other 2 have to go underneath the insert in the box, which is a little bit of a pain. There are 4 categories in the game, so I'm going to show you some of the things that are in them. Some globetrotters, you know, just different things. Some of them are really easy, like ancient wonders of the world. Some are harder. Maybe, well, I don't know, it depends where you're from, but maybe the countries that border Russia might be hard for some people. So this is kind of like a history, geography, the globetrotters. Paparazzi is pop culture. Movie starring Will Ferrell. Main characters: Saved by the Bell, top 30 Alfred Hitchcock films, etc., etc. You may or may not know this stuff. The jocks is all sports. So you're going to like it. You're going to know sports or not. All sorts of sports questions in there. And then finally, know-it-all is kind of everything. So it just any kind of trivia, you know, as you can see, just the different kinds of trivia that are in here. The chips themselves are good, although it's kind of odd to me that they only print it on one side because they just don't feel as much as poker chips. I guess they did that to save money, but I don't know, just whatever. The chips themselves are fun to throw around. The dice are not very good quality. These are going to rub off the sides of the dice, but it is what it is. So overall, the components are decent. So You Betcha has this fun, light, frothy feel to it. It's good. This looks like something that could be sold at Target. Probably will be at some point. They hit the mass market appeal. I think that that's very possible there. There's something I really do like about this game, and that is these cards are pretty handy. I love that these cards have all these lists. I've used them. I've only owned this game for a few weeks already. I've already used this in party games and things like that. In like game shows that I do, there's a lot of source of cool lists in here. The problem is the game has, I think, a serious flaw. When you play this game, the game is supposed to work thusly. I sit there and go, 4. Martha goes, I can do 5. Jonathan says 6. I'm like, I can't do 6. And we keep going. That's the way the game is supposed to work. But if you have someone in your group who, A, is fairly smart, that's going to break the game anyway. They're going to know all the answers. But take that person out of it. If you have someone who's just really likes to be involved, they're going to bid high. Not because they're trying to break the game, but they're like, I'm pretty sure I can do 10. And then they can do 4. But they're so excited and eager and want to be involved. It's the same kind of person who, when they play, they're auctioning something, they'll bid higher just because they like to be involved in it. See, the problem with You Betcha is you can be a passive player for most of the game. It comes around to me and it says, 10 quarterbacks who were in the Super Bowl. I don't know that information, so I'm going to pass. So I'm watching Billy and John go back and forth on it, and eventually Billy outbids John, and so Billy gets to have the chance, and I'm sitting there listening to him. That's a little fun, but Billy is having way more fun guessing those things than I am. And so in this game, because you can outbid other people, it can literally, and there's 7 rounds, it could literally be 4 or 5 rounds of one person playing most of the time. Now that person's likely going to lose. Maybe unless they're smart, then they win. But it doesn't matter if they win or lose. They played most of the game, and I watched most of the game. And that's not something I'm interested in. The all-play parts, that's fine. Everyone writes them down. Everyone's trying to figure out as many as they can. That's the best part of the game. But that's only 1/3 of the game. So 2 out of 7 rounds is going to be the all-play part. And then the auctioning, many times, a 7-player, it doesn't matter how many players you have, 4, 5, 6, whatever, one of those players is likely not going to play any particular game. So I think that's kind of a flaw of the game. I like the game in theory. In theory, it sounds good. But in practice, every group I've seen has had somebody, and it could even be me sometimes, who is eager and wants to be involved and wants to play and wants to have the fun of guessing the answers and all, and they take that fun a little bit from everybody else. That, and also you're going to run out of categories fairly quickly, but that's a minor thing. So You Betcha, I like the concept. It reminds me of an old party game, 25 Words or Less, which had the same thing going on for it. And it's good and it will work in certain groups, but I think the whole thing is a little fragile. You Betcha.
Dice Tower Judgment, some good ideas, but can be broken.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.